One of the weird things I've come to discover is that no matter what you do in life, it all just kind of comes back. Whether you're doing good, whether you're doing bad, just what you're doing. And nobody sees it, but it's not there for you to see. That's the funny part. Everybody wants to see it. You really don't. You don't want to witness the destruction of an individual. It's a pathetic sight. You know, I was talking to a friend of mine about a DOT guy, and he's just a prick. He's just a jerk. But they actually pulled him back out of retirement, and he's out there running around Ford County just making a menace of himself. Okay. You know, I keep telling guys, if you want to get rid of them, you can. You can file so many complaints, they have no choice. You can pursue legal action. You can get these guys fired. It's easier than you think. You just have to go through the process. One of the things that I've come to realize is nobody wants to go through the process. They just want to jump to the end result. And that's not something you really want to see. I mean, people that live corrupt lives and they're just jerks, they, at the end, they pay for it at the end. I mean, but you're not going to see it. They just die miserable. They die lonely. They die wallowing in their own BS. Or it just comes back and bites them, and then they end up getting fired, or they end up getting run out of town, or they end up... And you know, it's just... Everybody's like, I can't wait to see that. There's an old Bible verse that talks about this that says, don't rejoice when your enemy stumbles, lest God turn his wrath away from him towards you. Something along those lines, I'm paraphrasing. Don't fill your heart with glee when bad things happen to people you don't like. Because these bad things could very easily happen to you. And you just kind of have to sit there and take a neutral tone with all of this, because you just can't worry about this. If the guy's really that bad, sometimes you gotta press. But nobody gets away with it. At the end, nobody gets away with it. And like I've said before, you go in the same way you went out. If you live your life nasty, unrepentant, lie, cheat, con, steal, you're just gonna go out like that. You're just gonna become a victim of your own folly. But I know some of y'all are like, well, what about the good people who can't ever do this, or good people that can't ever do that? Yeah, what about them? Here's the thing. Watch these good people. Are they really good? And if they are good, do they quit? If a good person is truly good, they're not quitting. They're just pressing forward and pressing forward. And when they feel like pressing forward, they press forward just a little more. And sometimes they do quit. But after, they've come to realize this isn't working, we'll change direction. You get it in the end. And it's one of those weird things, just to be cliche. You reap what you sow. You really do. If you sow seeds of destruction, you're going to have a horrible life. If you sow seeds of good, you're going to have a good life. I'm just not saying that bad things won't happen, because we do live in a world where bad things do happen. And sometimes we're always looking for reasons why, and sometimes there just isn't. Sometimes things just happen. That's biblical. Seriously. Sometimes things just happen. There's no rhyme or reason. There's no curse. There's no... Sometimes things just happen, and then you have to move on from there. So next time you see somebody abusing power, or you see somebody abusing other people, or you see just bad things happen, just take a little solace knowing that, well, one, you say a prayer for them, but two, you should pity them, because in the end, it's going to slap them hard. And like I said, you don't want to be around to see it. And when you do, if you're unfortunate enough to see it, don't ever be happy about it, because witnessing the destruction of somebody is never a good thing.